Okay, wanted to show everybody progress I've made here. Again on the white AMT white Freightliner cab over. Um, this video is really going to be dedicated to my progress on the actual cab. So here it is, painted and detailed. Um, and also I got the interior pushed into the shell. I'll show you how I did that in a second, but very happy with how things turned out here. So go over a couple of details with you. Used the bare metal foil for the trim around the front windscreen and the wiper blades and the wiper blade arms you see here on the front of the cab. And then for different details on the side of the cab, latches here at this toolbox, and this vent window up here, and down here on the driver door. On this side again, there's another latch on this storage box. And here's a vent, a sleeper window vent up here. That's all done with bare metal foil. For this one, I did here's the bare metal foil. This, I think I used the ultra bright chrome. Again, this stuff is great. A little bit tough on this because the edges are pretty small, and they have some shape to them that makes getting the metal to conform, not so much conform, but to stick. This stuff doesn't have the most powerful adhesive. So if you have a very thin strip like you would around this front windscreen molding, sometimes it's hard to get it to stay if you have a very thin strip. So just a heads up on that. But if you can get it on there, press it down using a toothpick, or I use some of these special, they're almost like Q-tips. I got those at Hobby Lobby. You can get a whole pack at Hobby Lobby. These work well for just kind of pressing it in to get into any seam. I got these at Hobby Lobby as well. So, and then this is the Ultra Chrome bare metal foil. A little bit easier to get it on some bigger spaces, like like you see here with the sleeper vent. That was a little bit easier. Paint job I showed you guys last time. Pretty happy with how that came out. And then you can kind of see the interior tub is in with the glass. Not easy to see much detail on the interior once you get the interior tub pushed up into the shell of the cab. With the glass, it's plastic, but I mean, you know what I mean. The glass is kind of thick, really kind of obscures any real good view into any detail there in the cab. So, not sure spending a lot of time detailing the interior of the cab is really worth it unless you really want to go for it and cut the doors out, but I was not willing to do that. Around the door, to kind of give some depth perception around the perimeter of the door, just used a mechanical pencil to kind of highlight the door edges on that side. And that side, I thought that turned out pretty well. So getting the interior tub into the shell, not very easy. It's a tight fit. Plus and I recommend this as well, I had used some thin reinforcing strips along the seams. Since the cab comes in 3 pieces, you can just see the bottom of these strips. I just used that to reinforce the seams. Can't really see that one very well, but this one maybe a little bit better right here. And there's some in the back. So that makes it even a tighter fit when you try to put the tub in there. So what I had done is I used, to help get it up in there, sanded the perimeter of the tub, particularly around this window. It has around this window right here, and just around the rest of the perimeter of the tub, to get off any excess paint and to thin it up just a little bit. And then kind of around the perimeter of the interior tub, I have this from my scale trains. This is from my locomotives. This is a very, very thin synthetic oil that I just kind of lightly put around the perimeter of the tub. And I also put some just kind of along these edges of the bottom of the cab, just like so. Just to help lubricate that a bit. And then I was able to push, just push the tub up in there. And for the most part, it fit pretty well. So it's up in there as far as it's going to go. So that paint looks good, nice and glossy. And then the badge on the front of the cab, black paint over the entire thing, and then lightly wiping off the paint over the letters that spell white Freightliner, and that gives it some depth, and it really looks good. Then you got the headlamps, a little bit of bare metal foil behind the clear lenses helps give them some depth. Those popped in there very easily. And then you got this vent down here, which was just hit with to give it some depth and make it pop a bit. Just a Tamiya black accent panel liner in that. Okay. So there it is. Oh, and I thought this looked good too. I put some bare metal foil on the white Freightliner badge on this side. And I also put some bare metal foil to make this badge appear as well. And I thought those turned out really well. Just little details like that that really can make a difference in the appearance of your model. So what's next? Next for this is going to be the decals. I don't think that should be too bad compared to the Revell Peterbilt Wrecker, which had days and days of decaling. This shouldn't be too bad. The paint is glossy, it's smooth, it's ready to receive the decals. That's not a problem. And then it will be, back over to the rest of it. It's sitting right here. This basically will just need, there's a few more little pieces on the chassis here. And then I've got to get the muffler stacks on this, the exhaust, basically, the rest of the exhaust system on this. And then I think it'll be time to put the cab onto the rest of the model. So there's where we are. I will do another video after I get the cab decaled and get some of the cab detailing components on there, like the air horns and grab bars and the step ladder, stuff like that. That would be the next one. Also want to thank everyone. I'm up over 150 subscribers now. Never thought I would see that. So glad everybody seems to be enjoying the videos. I try to keep them short because I know people don't like to watch really long videos. It's easier said than done, though, for me to keep them short. So hope everyone enjoyed this. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.